guys, so this is a new location. Sorry about the mess, I'll try and move that. Yeah, I've got a new piece of equipment. Hopefully the lighting's not looking orange, and that's because I've got this studio light thing. I'll show you quickly. Ooh! Just fixed it there for the time being at the end of my bed, so I don't have to keep like rebuilding it and that. I mean, it doesn't take too much room up, so hopefully I don't find that I'm kicking it in my sleep or whatever, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, hopefully you'll see some bigger improvements. I'm not sure if this is going to be the first video that you're seeing with me using this, but it's the first one that I'm going to be mentioning it in. So anyway, I'm here with a book haul video. I feel like I have a lot of hauls really close to each other, and that's not because I buy a lot, because a lot of the stuff that I get is very collective. It's over like the past months. Because I keep pitting them off, like I always have videos that I want to put up before them, they end up getting crammed together and it looks like I'm constantly buying, but I'm not. That's not the case. So just thought I'd put that out there. Anyway, I have a lovely heavy collection of books that is in this beautiful natural history museum bag, and I'm just going to dive right in. So yeah, as I said, a lot of these have been kind of bought over the past few months. So this book here is The Life Tree by Frances Hardinge. So I actually saw this in WH Smith. Ended up getting this and the next two books in Asda. But it sounded really interesting. It sounds like a young girl's dad dies like under mysterious circumstances, and she's trying to kind of unravel what happened to him, why it happened, you know, what were the events that caused his like sudden death. And as she's searching for clues in her father's like belongings and stuff, she comes upon a strange tree. It sounds kind of spooky, kind of airy, quite horrifying. I'm not sure if it's going to be anything kind of supernatural, but that's the vibe I'm getting from this, and I'm hoping to step into a supernatural paranormal world, because it does say that about this tree that it feeds off whispered lies and bears fruit that reveals hidden secrets. So that sounds pretty creepy. So I'll be interested to see this. It was one of those random books that I saw, and I thought, oh, that sounds interesting. Went to a different shop and ended up getting it. And I said to Chloe recently, you know what, I kind of just want to pick up a book and read it, just because I feel like that would get me more into different genres, because I'm always into high fantasy and stuff. Sometimes it could be quite tiresome just stuck in that same genre. You kind of see similar themes occur and you're like, oh, I want something new. So I thought just picking a random book, making sure it's the first if it's a series, and just going for it will be great. That's exactly what I did with this book. And also it's got like a little review on the front by Patrick Ness, and I read one book by him and liked it, so I'm eager to try this if he likes it. So that is The Life Tree. Okay, next book I've got here is, again, it's quite a new release. I think these first three that I'm showing you are quite new releases, but at the time that I'm filming this, of course, I've never actually read any of the previous series in this world or any of this author's works. So I know it was silly getting this because it is a spin-off and you need to know the background and everything, but it was super cheap in the shop. It was a new release, and I thought, you know, if I get this now, it's going to push me to read the others. And that is Lady Midnight by Cassandra Clare. And of course it's a Shadowhunters novel. They've got the TV show now, but I want to check that out. Quite a few people have disliked it and kind of like DNF'd it, so I want to watch that eventually, but I would prefer to read the books first, and I know there's so many of them. But I think I did a video where it's like top popular series I haven't read. I don't know if that's uploaded yet, but that's one of the books on there. Anyway, I would love to read this. I don't want to know too much about what this is about, because I know I think it's in the same world, that's what I'm assuming. I know it connects somehow to the other series. So yeah, I don't want to know too much because I haven't read the other ones, but let me know if you liked this, and also give me a suggested order of how to read them, because Cassandra Clare has like two separate, she has like a Clockwork series and the Infernal Devices, doesn't she? How do I read them? Because I know they intermingle, like which is the best order to read them? That'd be so very helpful if anyone could tell me that. But yeah, excited to hopefully jump into this whole series, this whole life, this whole world very soon. Next one here, if I hadn't have seen the review that I did, I wouldn't have picked this up, but this is The Thing About Jellyfish by Ali Benjamin, and I saw a review from Fred Weasley Died Laughing's channel, and I think, oh, I'm going to butcher her name, I think it's Alf. She said it before, but I can't remember. I'm just going to not try and pronounce it. Lovely name. I've heard her say it sounds beautiful, but I can't remember how to pronounce it. But yeah, it sounds really interesting. She got a NetGalley review, so I know it's a quite new release. So let's see. Who doesn't speak anymore? Not since her best friend Franny drowned. Susie can't believe it. Franny was an excellent swimmer. She must have been stung by a deadly jellyfish. It's the only explanation, and Susie is going to prove it. So she retreats into silence, researching the jellyfish and formulating a plan that will take her across the world to discover the truth about the creature she's certain took her best friend away from her. So it's quite an odd subject matter. I think it almost goes into like the obsessiveness of her wanting to find out, you know, how this beast, or how she feels that this creature may have killed her friend. I don't know, I feel it sounds like she's made up this scenario in her head that this is how she drowned. She can't have drowned any other way because she was an excellent swimmer. It just sounds really, really good, and there's a lot of different themes. I think there's a slight LGBTQ plus theme in here that's nicely, kind of, it's not an issue, it's just a nice glazed thing, like this person's gay and that's fine. And I love books that's like that. I also love a book that centres around that just in itself, but when it's just added in a book and it's kind of not a big deal, it's just normal, you know, that's great too. So I'll be looking forward to getting to this one. The next couple of books are from like hospital trips. There's a hospital in Dorset, if anyone lives around the area, and they always have these awesome like book sales going on. Obviously the money goes to helping the hospital out and everything like that, so I'm always donating there. And the first one I've got here was Le Morte d'Arthur by Sir Thomas Malory. This is a story featuring, you know, the legend of King Arthur and, you know, the Knights of the Round Table and all that sort of stuff. I don't think I've ever actually read anything about that, really. I think I might have read a few poetry set in that time, but no, I've never read any like deep literature about it, so it'll be interesting to try this out. I'm not sure if this was the first or anything like that. It's a really nice edition. I do like the art that's on the front. It's a Wordsworth Classics of world literature, if that helps anybody wanting to find it. But yeah, sounds great. I would like to dive into this because I want to read more in this genre. I love watching TV shows and films and stuff like that set this kind of period. Loads of periodic pieces I like to watch, so it'd be great to actually read it. Following that up, I've actually got another one. It's a novel of Arthur. It's called Excalibur by Bernard Cornwell. I think this is one of the most known stories set in, you know, Arthurian times. It sounds awesome. A tale of Arthur and Guinevere, of Merlin and Nimue, and of Britain in its darkest age. The third in the magnificent series, The Warlord Chronicles. Yes, the third. So I'm going to have to see if I can find the other ones for cheap online. And then also one that I know is part of the series, it's not the first or anything, also by Bernard Cornwell, is that how I say it? I don't know if that's a G or a C, I think it's a C. Vagabond, the Grail Quest. So yeah, really nice to start some of these medieval pieces. I really want to get into this kind of literature because, as I said, love shows set in that period, love films set in that period. It just makes sense for me to carry that on and read some of that, you know. From my local comic book store, I got finally The Sandman by Neil Gaiman, Volume 1, Preludes and Nocturnes. I've been wanting to start this series so long, and there's a character in this called Death, and I've read some single works of her, like I read 2 things including her, and I like her character, so I thought, you know what, I want to go to the source of where she's from and see what everybody else is like, and you know, how it developed. And everyone seems to have loved this series, and I love Neil Gaiman, so it just seems crazy that I haven't started this yet, you know. So I took the plunge and I decided to go for it, so let's see what I think of that. I forgot to mention some of my ebooks. I have War and Peace by Leo Tolstoy. I have Bind Me by Renee Folsom. I don't know what a lot of these are. I know what War and Peace is, obviously, but quite a few of these were like just randomly free ones, so I was like, I might as well take it. War and Peace is still downloading. I started that like yesterday. You Loved Me at My Darkest by Evie Harper. Smoothie Recipes by Anthony Anholt. Yeah, some of these I haven't actually heard of. The Girl in the Box series by Robert J. Crane. Darkness Reigns by Jill Williamson. Vampire, Werewolves and Zombies by Dal Mayer. 12 Years a Slave by Solomon Northup. Treasure Island by Robert Louis Stevenson. Three Musketeers by Alexandra Dumas. Alice's Adventures in Lewis Carroll, and then I have some more on my PC that I'll show you. On Adobe Digital Editions, I've got from NetGalley The Night Clock Advanced Reader's Copy by Paul Malloy. The other ones are books that I've already read and they've expired, but this one is not expired yet and I haven't read it yet, so that's what the cover looks like. And then on my Kindle for the PC, I've got quite a few of these from Humble Bundle, because if you know Humble Bundle, they do like game packages. They also do books now, so I've got a lot of Neil Gaiman stuff. I've got Adventures in the Dream Trade, Angel Visitations, being an account of the life and death of Emperor Heliogabalus, Sin City, and oh, I don't know what that says, but that's what the cover looks like. And then some of the books that were just on there anyway is Aesop's Fables by George Violet Townsend, Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen, and Treasure Island by Robert Louis Stevenson, which I think I already have on my phone as well. And the last two books are the things that I actually got from the Natural History Museum. So they are kind of like animal sciencey kind of things. The first one here is The Book of Barely Imagined Beings by Caspar Henderson. Absolutely looks gorgeous. It's such a pretty book. I'll read you the back. From axolotl to zebrafish, discover 27 barely imagined beings. Real creatures that are often more astonishing than anything dreamt of in the pages of a medieval bestiary. Ranging from the depths of the ocean to the hottest spots in the desert, this is an entrancing guide to the world's most far-fetched species and a mind-expanding, wonder-inducing read. Sounds beautiful. Fabulous. I can't wait. It's like filled with like images and stuff as you go along. It's got like an index of all the stuff, of all the contents rather, of all the things that it's going to be exploring. And the thing that got me was unicorn, the goblin shark, so I can't wait to get to that part. I think it's just going to show me all these magical looking real creatures and the science behind it. I can't wait to try that. That's awesome. I said to myself that I want to start reading more kind of non-fiction literature that kind of delves in the topic that I study at uni. I do animal management, if you guys don't know, and I just don't read enough around that subject, so I thought it would be interesting, you know, starting off with something that sounds a little bit mythical, looks a bit mythical, but is, you know, quite factual in its content. So I'm excited to start that. And the last thing here is The Curious, Exciting and Slightly Disturbing Science of Squid Kraken by Wendy Williams. Again, such a creature that's almost been seen in legend, you know. I just want to learn so much more about these sort of things and what lies at the depths of the ocean, you know, because only, what is it, 5% has been explored, or 10%, something silly, like we just don't know what's out there. And this is quite a mystical creature that I'd like to learn more about, the giant squid. So yeah, let's have a look at what this is about. Okay, so there's quite a lot to read about, but let me just quickly glaze over some of it. So the word kraken conjures up visions of gigantic, tentacled and deadly sea monsters, but it's an image born more of legend than reality. The oceans, however, do remain one of the last sources of profound mystery on Earth, and they have been slow to give up the secrets of the creatures that sailors have mythologized and demonized for thousands of years. In Kraken, author Wendy Williams reveals the truths behind the squid, one of the most charismatic, enigmatic and curious inhabitants of the sea, unfurling a wild narrative ride through the world of squid science and adventure. In addition to squid, both giant and otherwise, Kraken examines other equally enthralling cephalopods, including the octopus and the cuttlefish, and it goes into a bit more on there, but I really like the end pages. Nice sea, it's really beautiful. I just think these are really pretty books, like they look quite gorgeous, and obviously they're packed full of information. Anyway, that is the end of this haul. I do hope you've liked it. If you've read any of these or you're interested in any of these, let me know your thoughts, or you know what ones you are interested in, because I'd love to hear what you're thinking. But for now, I will leave you be. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I shall speak to you next time. Take care. Bye.